Hello, this is Dr. Dan Drury, Chair of the Health Sciences Department, and I'm joined by.
Dr. Brandauer, Professor in the Health Sciences Department.
We're going to give you a quick overview today as rising juniors and what you need to consider as you begin the registration process this spring. So, to start off with, we want to make sure all juniors have completed the Anatomy and Physiology course sequence that we recommend you complete your sophomore year. But if for some reason you're transferring in late and you need to get that, well, that will then be your first priority to make sure you have that completed. Next, you want to check the Gettysburg curriculum. And basically what this means is that you need to go to Student Center and see exactly what courses have counted for what in your particular curriculum. And we also suggest that people at this point make sure that they've at least addressed or have a plan for completing their language requirement. So once you have that list and you know where you are, it will help you a lot to schedule your courses as you go forward.
Specifically, we see this often in students who in their senior year focus on a particular graduate or professional school or a set of them, need some additional prerequisites to apply to those schools, and by proper planning have the flexibility in their curriculum to then select an extra set of courses that will allow them to apply to a particular school.
Also, you will want to tell your advisor and make a plan if you plan to study abroad. We need to know that so that you can meet the requirements while you're studying abroad and how they will fit here at home in the curriculum here at Gettysburg. So the earlier you can determine that and let your advisor know, the smoother that process will be.
Generally speaking, study abroad means that you can not only fulfill classes or complete classes that fulfill parts of the Gettysburg general curriculum, but also you can take classes that might count towards your health sciences major. It's very important that you settle on these classes before you depart on your semester abroad, as most of the approvals almost exclusively are done before you leave campus. So make sure this is all settled before you leave for your study abroad experience.
I also want to clear up something of a misnomer that's out there among our students in that you have to, if you're a health sciences major, you have to go to Denmark or Australia. And although those are two great locations with lots of different options, you can go anywhere and make this happen. It just might be a little bit more difficult to find courses to fit in your major if you choose other locations. But if you have a desire to go to Italy or Spain or wherever it may be, please look into that thoroughly before you give up on it, because usually with some plan and foresight we can make it happen.
So when it comes to choosing your health sciences electives, there is some very big news that have changed very recently, and that is that you are no longer required to choose 2-300 level courses that include labs.
Now, this is significant, and we did this recently because we want our students to choose these specific courses with intentionality. So, really, we want you to look at the courses that will best be in line with your career goals and your interest area. And this could be done with 4 courses that have labs or no courses that have labs. We want you to choose those courses in conjunction with your advisor and do it in a very intentional way.
So if you anticipate a career in a field that requires intense amounts of patient contact, of laboratory skills, it is in your best interest to select courses that reflect your career goals. And what we're doing with this new policy is essentially giving you more flexibility to make the choices that prepare you for your next career step. So in short, choose courses that may be a prerequisite for graduate education, or at least help you prepare for the education that you seek.
All right, there are some minor distinctions between the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science courses. To start off with, I'll do the Bachelor of Arts, and you need to consider your 300 electives, as we just explained, but you also will need to take nutrition or public health. Most people take nutrition their sophomore or junior year, which is great, but we have just made another recent change with public health that for this particular requirement, you can now take nutrition or public health. We also think this is a good time to make sure that you've addressed your statistics requirement. For the BA, you can take Math 107 or Health Sciences 232 Health Statistics. Either one of those courses will fulfill this requirement, and this is probably a good year to make sure you have that complete. Also, we want you to start considering summer internships. This type of experience usually is in line with the career that you are seeking to prepare yourself for, and getting hours in that particular area is particularly helpful. Finally, as we said earlier, we want to consider what prerequisites you might need. And the Bachelor of Arts specifically is advantageous because there is room within that curriculum to take a variety of other courses from other departments or our department that might help you hit the prerequisites for that program while you're still in school.
On the Bachelor of Science side, you again need to choose some 300 level HS elective classes, as we discussed before. Make sure these prepare you for your future that you seek. You are also required to enroll in 2 semesters of organic chemistry and or physics. You don't have to take those all in the same year. It's a discussion that you really need to have in depth with yourself first, and then with your advisor, to make sure you take a course load that you can manage, and take those classes in a timeline that is productive for you. The HS statistics requirement, again, needs to be fulfilled along the way. Generally, we feel that it's good to pick up some extra quantitative skills relatively early on. If you haven't enrolled in statistics until now, it's probably a good time to do that. Genetics and cell biology is also a part of the HS Bachelor of Sciences. They're fundamentally important courses. For instance, the MCAT exam requires thorough knowledge in genetics and cell biology. Speak with your advisor or with a health professions advisor on the proper timing of these classes. Finally, the Health Sciences Department distinguishes itself in many ways. One of them is that we have a very high rate of students participating in summer internships or shadowing experiences. Talk to your advisor, contact the folks in the Center for Career Development, and discuss what the benefits of internship experiences would be and how you can find an internship that is optimal for you.
This, just to add a little bit to that, the internships at this point, as you're rising to a junior, is separate from your capstone internship, which is absolutely required of you prior to your senior year. This might be a separate internship, which we quantify as a regular internship. You can do both, and we hope and want everyone to get as much contact hours and experience as they can as they prepare themselves for their junior year and then the capstone internship for their senior year.
Finally, it's always a good time to start checking on graduate school prerequisites. We've already touched upon this before. If you're not sure what this means, where you need to go, there are some strategies to keep track of prerequisites. It gets fairly complicated as you expand your pool of schools you intend on applying to. Stay organized, make sure you have the prerequisites before you apply, and select your courses accordingly.
All right, the next step, you are ready to meet with your advisor, and we want you to show up prepared and ready for a productive discussion. So this is going to take some work on your part. So the first step is to sign up for an appointment specifically by yourself with your advisor. That might be done via email, or some of them might contact you with a sign-up list that's on their door. You also want to bring your 4-year planning grid. So this is basically to keep track of the courses that you have taken and also try to loosely schedule out the ones that you're going to take in the future. This is really helpful to do with your advisor, and it's good to have as a pencil in type of document that you can amend as you go along. So next, you're going to need a registration form that will come to you from the registrar's office, and we want you to have this completed. Please don't show up to your advisor with a blank form and ask us to sign it. The whole purpose of having the advisor sign it is to make sure that we have a productive discussion that is going to put you in the best position to meet your goals.
Part of this productive discussion is also to identify several options for key courses that you may not be able to enroll in. For instance, you have your heart set on taking our chronic disease course, but it fills up before your registration time slot opens. What will you do if you can't take this class? Do you have any options? Can you take a lab section that is on a different time or day? These are things you are already familiar with from your previous time at Gettysburg College, but it's very helpful for you to consider that before your appointment. If you do have some other questions that you have for your advisor, this is the time to speak up, ask those questions. We don't always know the answer, but we almost always know who does know the answer. So if we don't know it ourselves, we can get you in touch with the people who can help you get things sorted.
All right, now that you have everything signed and ready to go, you need to prepare for the moment when you are eligible to register online. So, a couple of things we want to remind you about is sometimes there might be a hold on your account from the registrar's office. This could be for a financial aid issue or a fee or a bill that wasn't paid. And if this isn't paid, they will literally put up a hold on your account and you won't be able to register. So I just like to remind students to make sure that you don't have a hold and you're prepared and ready to go. So once your time comes up, you should have that form filled out and get ready to press enter at the very moment that you're open to do so. This will allow you the first chance to get into the courses that you want and make those secondary choices hopefully not necessary. But if and when they are, you should be ready for that as well.
So by the time you're a rising junior, you're familiar with how Student Center works and operates, with how you enter classes into your shopping cart. Make sure that this is all done before your time slot. Be there at your computer 5 to 10 minutes early, so that all you have to do when your time slot opens is to push the button, and you have dramatically increased of being able to enroll in the classes that you have chosen.
Okay, well that's all for us for today. I hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you in the next couple of weeks.